Did you know most engines don't wear out? They get choked out? Dirt, carbon, and gunk slowly block the exact passages your engine needs to breathe, cool, and lubricate itself. So before you spend money on parts, I'm going to show you 7 cleaning spots that quietly decide whether your engine lives or dies. And stick around for hack number 7, because if you keep that system clear, you're stacking the odds toward a 300,000-mile engine instead of a surprise failure. Did you know your engine can be fine and still be wrong all day? Like it starts, it drives, no check engine light, nothing dramatic. But it's quietly running a bad air-fuel mix because one little sensor got a film on it, or because the throttle plate is sticky and the computer keeps chasing the idle. Picture your engine trying to breathe through clogged lungs. That's your throttle body. Inside that metal housing, there's a round butterfly plate that opens when you hit the gas. Over time, oil vapor and soot bake onto the edges, so the plate doesn't close clean anymore. It gets this dark ring right where it meets the bore, and the edges feel tacky. That tiny bit of gunk changes how much air sneaks past at idle, and it messes with that first little tip-in when you barely touch the pedal. Here's the sneaky part. A dirty throttle body doesn't always throw a code. The engine just compensates. It adjusts idle air, it tweaks fuel trims, it adds a little more fuel here, pulls a little there, and it keeps you moving. But those corrections usually mean more heat, more deposits, and more time running slightly off. So it turns into this slow snowball where the engine is always fixing a problem you never see. And you've felt the symptoms. Rough idle at a stoplight where it kind of shudders like it wants to stall. That weird hesitation when you pull out into traffic and it's like the car has to think for half a second. Random stall when you come to a stop, then it starts right back up like nothing happened. And mileage drops so slowly you blame winter gas, tires, or your commute, right? So hack number 1 is throttle body cleaning, and it's way less scary than it sounds. Pop the hood and look for the big intake tube that runs from your airbox to the engine. Follow it to the metal housing with a connector on it. That's the throttle body. Loosen the clamp, pull the tube off, and you'll see the plate. Now hold the plate open. On some cars, you can gently rotate the linkage by hand, and on others, you'll need a helper to turn the key on without starting so the electronic throttle can move. Either way, don't force it like you're trying to bend something. Then spray throttle body cleaner onto a rag, not straight into the opening. Wipe around the bore and focus on that dark ring where the plate closes. Keep flipping to a clean spot on the rag and wipe until you see bare metal again around the whole circle. Here's the kicker. Don't flood the intake with cleaner. You're not pressure washing a driveway. Too much liquid can run down and make it hard to start, and it can wash junk into places you don't want. Also, don't scrape with a screwdriver or gouge anything. Some throttle bodies have coatings, and you can mess them up if you get aggressive. When you start it after, expect a slightly rough idle for a minute because that cleaner has to burn off, and the computer has to relearn a clean plate. But you won't believe how many "I need a tune-up" complaints are actually the next part. Even if the throttle body is spotless, your MAF sensor can still be lying. The mass airflow sensor sits in the intake stream, usually right after the air filter box. It reads incoming air so the ECU knows how much fuel to add. If it gets dusty, or it gets an oily film from an over-oiled filter, it starts under-reading or over-reading. Hack number 3. Clean the MAF the right way. Unplug the connector, remove the screws, and pull the sensor out carefully. Spray only MAF cleaner on the sensing elements. Do not touch them with your fingers, a rag, a Q-tip, nothing. Let it air dry fully, like actually dry, then reinstall it and plug it back in. Payoff. Why is your MAF sensor lying to your car's computer? And how does a 10-minute cleaning fix a problem most mechanics would charge hundreds to diagnose? Because bad airflow readings make the ECU add and subtract fuel non-stop. And once the sensor reads clean air again, those corrections calm down and the mix gets back to the truth. Now that your engine can actually measure and breathe air right, let's talk about what kills engines even faster than bad mileage. Heat and dirty oil passages. Did you know a lot of random engine failures come down to 2 boring things? coolant that's gone nasty and acidic, and a $15 valve that stops doing its job. People call it bad luck because nothing feels wrong until it's really wrong. Start with the cooling system because engines don't usually die from age. They die from getting too hot one time. One ugly overheat can turn into a head gasket leak, a warped cylinder head, or the kind of heat damage that makes it burn oil forever. And the messed up part is the temp gauge can look normal most of the time. Then you hit a long hill with the AC on, or you're stuck in stop and go and it slowly creeps up when you're not watching. Coolant doesn't just wear out, it gets contaminated. Tiny bits of rust, scale, and debris end up floating around, then settling in the radiator, heater core, and the little passages in the engine. Think of it like arteries getting narrower. You still get flow, just not enough when the load is high. So the car seems fine on a cool day, then runs hotter on summer trips, or the heater gets weak, or you smell that sweet coolant smell for a second after you park. Hack number 4 is a basic coolant flush, and do it the safe way. Engine stone cold. Not warm, not, it's been sitting an hour, cold. Open the radiator drain if you have one, or pull the lower hose and drain the old coolant into a pan. If it comes out brown or gritty, that's your sign you waited too long. Then close it up, fill with water and a cooling system flush, and start the engine with the heater set to full hot. Let it run long enough to circulate, because you want that flush going through the heater core too. Shut it off, let it cool, drain it again, and now refill with a 50-50 mix of the right coolant and distilled water. Here's the kicker. Bleeding the air matters more than people think. Air pockets don't cool, they insulate. If you trap a bubble near the thermostat or in the head, you can get a hot spot even while the gauge looks okay. Some cars have a bleed screw, some want you to park on an incline, some want the radiator cap off while it warms up and burps. However your car does it, take your time and make sure the level stays steady and the heat blows consistently.